Lions saving a little girl from her fearsome kidnappers. Dolphins rescuing a lifeguard from a vicious death at the hands of a shark. And even a bear that managed to save a camper from being devoured by the wild beasts of the jungle. These are 10 times wild animals saved lives. Number 10. A failed kidnapping. Ethiopia has never been known for being a safe country, but one event in 2005 was amazing enough to keep organized crime well away, at least for a while. It happened in June, when a 12-year-old girl was walking home from school. The road was uneventful, and in the middle of the journey, 4 men kidnapped her. For a whole week, the girl was at the mercy of the criminals in a clandestine location. The police tried to track them down and were almost on the verge of catching them when something unimaginable happened. In the middle of the hideout where they were holding the girl, the kidnappers were attacked by a pride of lions. The beasts burst into the place and attacked the men quickly until they fled. The girl was caught in the middle of the confrontation, but to everyone's surprise, the lions didn't attack her, as her cry was identical to that of one of their cubs, and this saved her life. The police found the girl dazed and frightened, but completely safe thanks to these powerful felines. Number 9. A second chance. Another amazing event that has caught the attention of thousands of people since the year 2000 involved a man named Kevin Hines. Kevin suffered from bipolar disorder and severe depression, which brought him to the brink of his life. One day, he decided to end it by throwing himself into the sea from the famous Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco. His bravery pushed him quickly into the void, but when he fell, he didn't lose consciousness, nor did he drown. Below him, a thick, spongy surface made him float. When he opened his eyes, trembling, he discovered that a sea lion had saved his life. At first, Kevin thought it was a shark. That death terrified him. He wasn't prepared to suffer. For him, everything was supposed to be over quickly. But a few seconds later, he discovered his salvation. A sea lion that not only broke his fall but kept him afloat until the Coast Guard came to his rescue. The story changed Kevin's life and that of many local people who witnessed the gentler side of nature. Number 8. Immediate protection. The life of a lifeguard is full of surprises. The last thing anyone in the profession would expect is to be rescued from mortal danger by a pod of dolphins. However, this is exactly what happened in 2004 when lifeguard Rob House, 3 companions, and his daughter were swimming off Ocean Beach near New Zealand. On that October day, the sea looked pleasant and the sky was clear. There was no danger in sight, but then, without warning, 7 bottlenose dolphins emerged from the depths and began swimming around them. The behavior was unnatural. The phenomena made no sense. The dolphins didn't leave, they just kept swimming in the depths, and when Rob emboldened and tried to see what was happening in the darkness of the ocean, he was petrified. The powerful white shark several meters long was hovering in the area, hungrily eyeing its victims, but unable to approach because of the ring of protection formed by the dolphins. Rob didn't alert his companions but helped them stay calm. The situation could become truly catastrophic in a matter of seconds if they made a wrong move. Fortunately, this didn't happen. After several minutes, the shark decided to turn around and go in search of new prey. Thanks to this, the group managed to return to the shore, always accompanied by the dolphins, incredulous at what they had experienced, although no one could believe their words. Number 7. A preemptive rescue. Oxford is a quiet place, at least that's what they say, but an unprecedented event took place in February 2012. After returning from a party, the man intercepted a woman at 1 a.m., just as she was walking across her property. The subject hit her on the spot and was about to snatch her purse and drag her to this farm when something unexpected happened. A buck deer emerged out of the darkness. Apparently, the animal had been awakened from its sleep by the screams, and in its flight, it managed to create a noise similar to the footsteps of a group of people. The malefactor panicked about being discovered, so he fled immediately, leaving the woman on the ground. Seconds later, the deer appeared on the scene, unaware of what he had done. Miraculously, the woman managed to return to the party and call the police. However, she was unable to describe her assailant. Number 6. A risky sport. Surfing is a sport that has many dangers. The sea is often a treacherous place and holds deadly experiences, although sometimes miraculous events occur at sea. Todd Andrews was a young surfer in 2016. On August 28, he was mastering a wave in Marina State Park, California, when the worst situation for an athlete like him occurred. A huge white shark appeared in the water. Running away was a futile idea. Todd had to find a way to escape, but in the face of his indecision, the beast's jaws dug into his surfboard. Todd fell into the water, completely helpless. His heart was pounding. He was prepared for the end, but then a pod of dolphins burst onto the scene. There were about 5 of them, and their slippery bodies began to crash into the shark. Each blow drove the beast away from the surfer, and before the surfer could react, Todd had already begun to swim to shore. After several minutes, the surfer allowed himself to turn around to see what had happened in the sea battle, but he could see nothing. The dolphins had disappeared, as had the shark, and Todd had no intention of returning to look for them. Number 5. An emergency call. Another case very similar to Todd's can be found in the experience of Nan Hauser, a marine biologist who was enjoying a vacation in the Cook Islands in 2017 when she experienced what was undoubtedly the most terrifying and unreal experience of her life. While swimming, a powerful humpback whale cut Hauser off. The cetacean emerged from the sea with determination and almost immediately approached the swimmer. Its jaw threatened to open, and Hauser couldn't even move. But instead of being attacked, the whale began to give her small blows on her head, as if it were trying to suggest her to climb onto its back. That, of course, made no sense. The woman didn't understand what was going on, but the whale kept insisting steadily, flapping its fins and trying to get her attention. A few seconds later, Hauser caught a glimpse in the distance of what could be certain death. A few meters away, the fin of a shark, approximately 5 meters long, was heading towards her. Instantly, the biologist knew what she had to do. Although it was difficult and she slipped a couple of times, she managed to climb onto the whale's back, as if it were a small island, and from there she managed to get to safety from the predator. The shark didn't try to attack the cetacean, but for several minutes it hovered around the pair, waiting for any distraction or the best moment to strike. Fortunately, Hauser made it out alive. Number 4. Saved by nature. When it comes to unreal cases, we have to talk about Robert Biggs. This man was on a hike in the Whiskey Flats forest in California when the adventure turned into something really dangerous. As he advanced along the trail, a powerful tiger emerged from the forest. The creature slowly advanced toward its prey. Robert had no escape. This was the end. He breathed a last sigh, and then the impossible happened. A grizzly bear and her cub emerged from the depths of the forest and stood between the predator and its meal. For Robert, it all happened too fast. He could only hear the bear growling and the tiger roaring. The fight seemed intense and monstrous, but it didn't stick around to see the outcome. He slowly moved away from the place, noiselessly, one step at a time, and when there was enough distance between them, he fled without looking back. Robert returned alive and with a deep gratitude to nature, and he definitely was born again that day. Number 3. The protectors of the sea. Many consider dolphins to be the most intelligent animals in the ocean, but what few know is that they can also be extremely overprotective, especially of humans in distress. Grant Dickinson can attest to this. In 2002, his boat sank off the coast of Australia in Queensland, an area where a large number of shark attacks are recorded. On that day, Dixon was unlucky. His wreck attracted a predator almost instantly, as he was bleeding from various parts of his body. The beast began to circle him, and Dixon knew it was only a matter of time. His body was unresponsive. He had no escape. For an instant, he began to pray, and it seemed that he was heard. For some unknown reason, the shark slowly moved away. Dixon didn't understand what was happening, but it was evident that the beast was moving away against his will. The shark slowly gave ground, and only when it was a good distance away, the castaway was able to discover what was happening. Apparently, a group of dolphins had saved him, as they managed to drive the predator back. Dixon spent 40 hours in the water, and in all that time, the dolphins never left him. Number 2. An unexpected lifeguard. Shipwrecks are usually tragic events. The one that occurred in 1970, which involved Yvonne Vladislavich, became known as a true miracle. This woman was traveling along the coast of Mozambique in a small boat when the strong waves completely overturned it. The crew was quickly caught unaware of the situation, and many died almost instantly. Yvonne, however, began swimming towards shore. Her survival instinct was driving her desperately forward. She was a good swimmer, but her strength was waning more and more. After swimming 40 kilometers, she was exhausted, and she had to make it to a buoy. Her body didn't respond. That was the end. And yet, a group of dolphins came to her aid. Supported by these unexpected rescuers, Yvonne didn't sink into the sea and slowly made her way to the shore. The media covered this impressive event. No one could believe it. Yvonne was the only survivor of the shipwreck. Number 1. Saved by porpoises. Life is full of surprises, and actor Dick Van Dyke experienced one of the most surprising ones, at least when it comes to the world of acting. On The Late Late Show with Craig Ferguson, the actor revealed a surprising experience. According to his own testimony, while surfing on the private beach of his home in California, the actor fell asleep on his board. The gentle motion of the ocean had lulled him for a long time, and after a couple of hours, he awoke to discover that he was a long way from home. Dick was disoriented. He had no idea where he was, but he quickly detected danger, since a number of guests seemed to be about to feast on him. He could only see their fins and already knew it was going to end badly, but to his surprise, a pair of porpoises emerged from the water. The animals looked concerned, and when Dick made the effort to swim, they helped him back home. The story had several witnesses, and to this day, it's still amazing. All these stories show us that nature is truly amazing, although these events aren't isolated. The world is full of amazing mysteries, especially when it comes to the animal kingdom, and if you're ready to learn about them, you better join us in the following videos.